so today we're going to talk about order of operations. Order of operations is exactly what it sounds like. It tells you that when you have a problem with a lot of different operations in it, that there's a specific order that you need to follow in order to get the right answer. And today we're going to practice following that order. So your goal for today is I can evaluate expressions by performing order of operations. Remember in this video that you can fast forward, pause, or rewind as you need to. So, some very important vocabulary and steps here. There's the order of operations is the order in which operations should be completed, especially when you have a problem that has multiple operations. Your step 1 is to perform all of the operations inside the parentheses, and parentheses are the little hugging symbols. Step 2 is you are going to evaluate everything in the problem that has exponents, and we talked about exponents not too long ago. Exponents are the little number that is on top of other numbers that tells you to multiply times itself a certain amount of times. Step 3, you're going to do multiplication and you're going to do division. Now, you read a book from left to right, and that's exactly how you're going to solve math when it comes to order of operations. So once you've done your parentheses and your exponents, you're going to solve all the multiplication and all the division in the problem in order from left to right. So if division comes first, you do division first, and then you do multiplication. Last but not least, we're going to add or subtract the same way in order from left to right. So if subtraction comes first, you do that first, and then addition last. We're going to go ahead and look at a little graphic that can sometimes help us remember. So this is a cool tool that you can draw on the top of your paper to remember the order. We call it PEMDAS. There's also a lot of different acronyms or little riddles that you can come up with to remember. I like to draw little symbols, so the parentheses around the P, a little exponent on top of the 2, a multiplication sign, a division sign, an addition sign, and a subtraction sign. And for these guys, I like to draw an arrow here so that I remember I go from left to right, whichever comes first. And there's your little chart. You can write it on top of a quiz or a test. You can write it on top of your notes when you're doing homework. It's a good way to remember the order. So let's go ahead and start our first one. So I'm going to write up here PEMDAS. So we have a little note for ourselves. So at first glance, we have no parentheses, so we're done with that. We do have an exponent. So what we do is we solve our exponent. 3 to the second power is 3 times 3, which is 9. And now what we do is we rewrite the rest of the problem. Okay, we're done with exponents. Now we do multiplication and division, whichever comes first in order from left to right. So I have division right here. 20 divided by 5 is 4, and I rewrite the rest of the problem. And all I have left is multiplication. 4 times 9 is 36, and that is my final answer. It's not too hard. Let's try another one. I'm going to write my PEMDAS up here. And this is also a good way to keep yourself accountable while you're solving the problem, is to write it out and cross out each letter as you complete them. So in this example, I do have parentheses. Now once you're inside the parentheses, you have to follow PEMDAS in order again. So sometimes inside your parentheses, you'll have another set of parentheses, and you have to do that first. If you have addition and multiplication inside your parentheses, you have to do the multiplication first, because that's what order of operations tells you to do. So in my parentheses, I do have an exponent that I need to take care of. 3 to the second power is 3 times 3, which is 9. So I'm going to solve that, rewrite the rest of the problem. Now, I still have not taken care of parentheses, but now I can. 9 times 2 is 18, and I rewrite the rest of the problem. So I've now taken care of my parentheses. I do not have any other exponents. I do not have multiplication or division, but I do have some addition and subtraction, and I have some subtraction to take care of right here. So 36 minus 18, when you do the math on that, you are going to get 18. And that's your answer for that one. All right. Each time we do another example, we're just going to get a little bit more complicated, but I'm always going to write my PEMDAS up there. So we do have parentheses, so let's take care of this first. 12 minus 4 is 8, and I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem here. 18 divided by 3 times 8. So I've taken care of my parentheses. I do not have any exponents, so that is done. I do have some multiplication and division, so I'm going to do it from left to right. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Bring down the rest of the problem. And I have more multiplication. 6 times 8 is 48. And I am done. Okay. Next one, I'm going to write my PEMDAS up here. Alright, at first glance, I have no parentheses. I also have no exponents, so 2 steps taken care of. I do have some multiplication in there, so I do multiplication and division in order from left to right. So 6 times 4 is 24, and I bring down the rest of the problem. I've now taken care of all of my multiplication and division, so now I have my addition and subtraction in order from left to right. So 40 minus 24 is going to be 16, and I rewrite the rest of the problem. 16 plus 3 is 19, and that is the answer to your problem. All right, number 5, you'll see that they're getting longer and longer. So I'm going to write my PEMDAS up here. All right, I do have parentheses I need to solve. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem now. Oops. All right, I've taken care of my parentheses. I do have an exponent over here. 2 to the second power means 2 times 2, which is 4. So I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. I've taken care of my exponent. I do have multiplication and division, and remember we do that in order from left to right. So here's my first one. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. And I still have some multiplication to take care of, so 4 times 3 is 12, and I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. I've taken care of my multiplication and my division. Now I have addition and subtraction in order from left to right. I only have addition left. 4 times 12 is going to be 16. Remember that you can pause the video if you ever need to slow down, or you can rewind if you want to understand how I did something. Alright, so example number 6, I'm going to write my PEMDAS at the top. Okay, so I do have some parentheses to take care of here. 10 minus 5 is 5. So I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. Okay, I do have an exponent over here. 4 to the second power means 4 times 4, which is 16. So I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. Now I need to look for multiplication and division in order from left to right. So I have some multiplication right here. 12 times 2 is 24, and I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. It looks like I've taken care of all of my multiplication and division, so I'm going to cross those two out. I now need to take care of addition and subtraction in order from left to right. So I have some addition right here. 16 plus 24 is going to be 40, and I'll rewrite the rest of the problem. And all I have left is subtraction, so 40 minus 5 is going to be 35. All right, example number 7. Again, I'm going to write my PEMDAS at the top. Okay, at first glance, I have no parentheses. I do have an exponent, though, that I need to take care of. 3 to the second power is 3 times 3, which is 9, and I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. Okay, so I've taken care of my exponent. I now have multiplication and division in order from left to right. So I have some multiplication right here. 10 times 3 is 30, and I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. I also have some division here. 30 divided by 2, which is 15. Rewrite the rest of the problem. I've now taken care of all my multiplication and all my division. I have addition and subtraction left, but looking over here, I just have subtraction left. 15 minus 9 is going to be 6. Example number 8. I'm going to write my PEMDAS at the top. Okay, so I do have some parentheses here. 4 times 2 is 8. And I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. Cross out my P. I do have an exponent here. 8 to the second power means 8 times 8, which is 64. Cross out my exponent, rewrite the rest of the problem. Okay. Now I look for multiplication and division. I have none. I just have addition and subtraction, so I can cross those two guys out. So I need to do addition and subtraction in order from left to right. 64 plus 8 is going to be 72. And I rewrite the rest of the problem. So now I have 72 minus 16. So that's going to be, let's see, 62 and 56, I believe. And that should be your final answer. All right, example number 9. So we have PEMDAS at the top. Okay, I do have parentheses here I need to take care of. 1 plus 4 is 5. I'm going to keep it in parentheses because this 6 is attached to the parentheses, meaning that that's going to be multiplication. So I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. If I did not write those parentheses, that would look like 65, and that is not correct. So I took care of my parentheses. I do not have any exponents. I need to take care of multiplication and division in order from left to right. So here I have 30 times 5 minus 2. I still have some multiplication here. 30 times 5 is going to be 150. Bring the rest of the problem down. I'm done with multiplication, done with division. I need to look for addition and subtraction in order from left to right. I only have subtraction. 150 minus 2 is 148. Okay, we have our last example. I'm going to write PEMDAS at the top. You'll note that we've only been using whole numbers so far. In the next lesson, we're going to take it up a level. We're going to add some fractions, we're going to add some decimals, and we're also going to combine all of them into one problem where we have fractions, decimals, and whole numbers. But as long as you're following the order of operations and you're writing your PEMDAS at the top and holding yourself accountable to it, it's not hard at all. Okay, so we're going to do our parentheses first. We have 14 divided by 2, which is 7. Rewrite the rest of the problem. Okay, I do have an exponent here I need to take care of. 2 to the third power means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Rewrite the rest of the problem. I need to take care of my multiplication and division in order from left to right. The only thing I have is some multiplication here, which 6 times 8 is 48. Rewrite the rest of the problem. It looks like I've taken care of all my multiplication and all my division. Now I need to do addition and subtraction in order from left to right. So here I have 8 plus 7, which is 15. Rewrite the rest of the problem. And I have one last addition problem here. 15 plus 48, which is going to be, let's see, 58, 63. That should be your final answer. Okay, so this is the end of this lesson. Remember that you can rewind, fast forward, or pause and ask me any questions in class that you have.